Greatest News and Reviews? Your boy, Captain Mal here, and today I am joined by...
I'm Weapon 2!
Weapon 2, and we are going to bring you our official review for John Wick Chapter 3, Parabellum. So, as you probably know, John Wick Chapter 3 is the third chapter of the John Wick trilogy, or series of movies. Big fans of the first two. I think the first two are some of the greatest original action movies to come out in recent memory. I think John Wick 3 had super high expectations to live up to. As always, we'll keep the first part of this video spoiler free. But Weapon 2, what'd you think of John Wick 3?
Well, it's just about what you expected. A whole lot of action and killing and fighting and action and killing and fighting, action, killing and fighting. And top level, cool stuff. They like to pay attention to a lot of details as far as round count per magazine and going through a lot of technical stuff and fighting that they like to go through. There's little things that I'm going to point out through this thing that, because I'm weird, bother me. But for the most part, this thing is exactly what you want. Super awesome action movie. Fun to watch because of all that. They create this. We'll talk about it later, but it's just super cool movie. Liked it. If you're a fan of the other John Wick movies or anything action, fighting, killing, you're gonna love it.
1000% agree with you. John Wick Chapter 3 did something that not a lot of movies, especially the third in a series, do, and that is be fucking good. Be really good. So without any doubt in my mind, I can say that the John Wick trilogy, as it stands, is phenomenal. It is one of the few trilogies where every movie is great.
I feel like every movie took it to a new level.
In terms of action and world building and everything got bigger,
right?
But not in a bad way. A lot of times movies sequels get bigger and they get over bloated and stuff like that. These didn't do that. If anything, one of the things I really loved about the first movie that the second movie built upon, and then this one took to a next level, is the world building.
Right.
The rules and everything and how it works, they did a great job. The fighting, all the fight scenes in this movie, and there's a fucking lot of them. They do a great job in feeling different in different environments with different weapons, with different things going on. So even though it's action, 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 it never feels monotonous. It never feels like too much. Everything's different enough.
When can you have too much fighting?
You can't. I can watch Keanu Reeves shoot people in the head all day. But no, so if you love or like the other two movies, you'll love this. Bar none. If you, like you said, if you're just a fan of action movies, you'll really like this movie. Again, his fighting and stuff, the only thing is not to critique, but some of the fighting you can tell is kind of slowed down. Some of the hand-to-hand specifically, because Keanu Reeves is fucking 53. You know what I mean? You can tell some guys are waiting for their cue and go. You know what I mean? When you're no, you would be trying to kill. But those are nitpicks. I think for the most part, the action is fantastic. Halle Berry is pretty good in the movie. She's actually really good.
She's way better than I thought.
I was a little apprehensive with her in the movie, but she's really good. And we'll get into the story and stuff like that when we do our spoiler warning. But as a whole, it ended way fucking different than I thought it was, and did things differently than I thought it would. Not in a bad way, some suspenseful kind of shocking things happened. But as a whole, overall, it was exactly what I wanted it to be. Better than I hoped it was gonna be. I loved it, and I highly recommend it.
Me too. I agree with you.
Alright, any other things you want to say before spoilers?
I think that's it. I think it's time to dive into spoilers.
Dive into it. So, spoiler alerts! John Wick doesn't die, which is I thought he was going to do. So the movie starts out, as you've seen the other two, at the end of the second movie, he gets excommunicadoed or whatever. So basically all the assassin world is going to be coming at him.
That's right.
And the movie starts off fast and hard, right? It just gets going with them coming at him, and there's some great action sequences right off the bat. And basically the movie is a story of how he's going to try to overcome this and what he has to do that. Again, getting back to the action, all of it fantastic. The scene with Halle Berry and the dogs, holy shit, that was cool. I actually googled those dogs, and apparently that's what they really do. Those are
Belgian Malinois.
They're military fucking dogs.
Oh yeah, those are regular police dogs.
Yeah.
And they are quick, they hit hard, and they're vicious. Which I think it's interesting to me where I feel like because his other dog's a pit bull, and they don't want to feed into a stereotype about a pit bull, that he's really just this friendly dog who sits around. So that, we don't want to show him attacking anybody, but bring these other dogs in,
murder everyone.
They hit people like torpedoes.
And there was a funny moment where Halle Berry snaps and like starts the big fight, and afterwards she's like, "He shot my dog." John was like, "I get it." But it was really cool. Again, I love that John Wick's universe kind of feels like a video game. You know what I mean? Like it has a lot of video game rules. Like the scene when they're in the Continental, when they're getting attacked and they go out and start shooting at them, they're like, "Oh yeah, they have like improved armor, so we have to use these rounds," and they're just like not working at all. And then it's like that moment when you realize, I'm gonna die. So they fall back to their safe house, get better weapons, and then go back out again. I'm like, that's a total video game thing. Like, and then like fighting like the main like Asian dude, I can't remember his name. Like he has to beat all the mini bosses. Yeah, he has to beat all the mini bosses to get to the main boss. Total video game thing. Like it's pretty cool.
You know what that felt like to me? That felt like to me. I saw this when he first went into when he came back and came into meet the manager of the Continental, and he takes him into this weird glass thing, and I was like, what is this all about? And so I thought it was weird, and I thought it was giving me some weird feeling about what was going on. But when they actually go in there to fight, it felt like that old Bruce Lee movie, Game of Death or something, when they're in the pagoda and he has to fight all these levels of people and finally gets up to Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
Like literally levels.
Yeah, it's like I'm fighting each level of person. And there's some weird things about this, like you said, this universe building where in number one, it seemed a little bit to me like, okay, there's kind of this far-fetched, maybe organized crime / assassin thing, but okay, I think maybe they want me to believe this is something that could really exist in this world. And the next one, they stretched it a little more, and I was like, In this one, it's like, oh no, this is not even supposed to. We can't be made to believe that this exists. This is like every internet conspiracy theorist thing about these people that run the whole world, like the Bilderbergs and the Illuminati and everything. That's what it's all about. It's about these secret societies.
They really double down on it. They do. But it works in the movie. Yeah. But you're right. The first movie, it felt smaller and more grounded. So like again, you're like, oh, this is our world, but just with this hidden society thing. And then you're right. By this movie, you're like, oh, this isn't our world. Like this is some crazy shit going on. And just like, there's a lot of assassins just walking around New York City. Like most people are assassins apparently. If
I'm to believe that this is true, I think that 30% of the population are assassins.
That might be a conservative number. But it's just more people for John Wick.
No, it's like, everybody's an assassin.
Yeah.
And you got the homeless guys until he pulls back and he's got his golden Rolex.
That was cool though. He's a plastic and Fishburne was a boss in it again. Like I liked you had the chick representing the high table going around and basically going after the people that helped John in the last movie.
Who is she? Not the auditor, she called.
Some title. I'll put it right here.
Okay.
But I liked when she was like, you give him 7 bullets, you're gonna get 7 cuts. And I love Fishburne's just like, sometimes you gotta cut a bitch. And I was like, oh, that's a good fucking line. Like, or do you say sometimes you gotta cut a motherfucker? That's what it was. Like, sometimes you gotta cut a motherfucker. Really good line. Thought he was dead, was not dead.
There's so many. There's a lot of things I want to talk about this, but there's so many interesting things, including their rules, where it's weird to me that you're coming up and you're saying, you're a rule breaker, and your punishment is going to be something horrible or death. And she doesn't think that somebody's going to pull out a gun and shoot her.
Well,
we're rule breakers.
Yeah, there's strict adherence. I like that they kind of showed that not everybody completely follows them though, because there's strict adherence to the rules. But then the first dude who attacks John at the beginning of the movie, John still has like 20 minutes. Right. He's like, fuck it, that's a lot of money. I'm just going to attack you now.
What about that dude? Isn't he going to get trouble for breaking the rules?
But nobody would know.
But he's like, how would anybody know?
And that's the thing.
I want to talk about that fight though.
That first one? No, go ahead.
But I'm going to tell you, there's cool things about that, and there's things that I was sitting there going, come on. The cool things are how he's using the book as a weapon, and how he finally breaks his neck over the book and stuff like that. The other things I don't understand is you're holding the book up against the guy's face and hitting the book. That makes no sense. That doesn't work in the real world in a fight or with physics when you... That's how... If you're going to beat somebody, you want to torture them and leave no marks, that's what you do. That's not what you do in a fight.
Yeah.
Is block your own punches.
I thought that too. It's like you're not doing anything to
that was dumb.
Yeah.
Everything else with the book, cool. That made it like, oh, come on, that's not what you do.
I did love the part where they were all throwing knives at each other. Like when they were breaking all the glass and they're just like chucking knives at each other. That was fucking great.
In that one scene, it was like that guy's head was a magnet. He was just throwing knives and stick.
With the horses too, having the horses kick people. Like that. Like,
he used the horse as a weapon.
Yeah.
He's aiming it. Take that, take that, take that.
No, but it was cool. It was fucking hilarious. And like again, like they come up with inventive
I've never
ways
seen
for the
somebody
fights.
use the horse as a weapon.
Great.
That was amazing.
And again, the last fight too, like John Wick 2 kind of really did this. Like it was very visual when they were in like that house of mirrors and effects and shit. And like the last fight kind of had a similar like vibe to it. And I really love the color palette of these movies too. Are really really cool. But again, action all the way through. But let's talk about the ending though. So the end of the movie. What is the New York Continental head guy's name? The friend of John Wick.
Sort of W.
Winston. So Winston, he gets in trouble by the table for assisting John Wick at the end of John Wick 2 by not killing him right away and giving him an extra hour, which I guess. So basically they're like, hey, so the Continental's going to become deconsecrated, which basically means that it's not a ground where business can not be conducted anymore. They're taking his power from him and all that. So he and the concierge, who I'm happy we got to see fucking some skills from, and John and everybody in the Continental kind of like hold their ground and go to war against the incoming soldiers of the table. Really cool climactic fight scene, and at the end they have a parlay where basically Winston says, hey, fuck it, you give me my power back, I'll just murder John Wick. And John's like, the fuck? And then he just opens fire on John. John falls off the side of the building. How the fuck he didn't die, I don't know. But I thought like Winston was setting something up, and the movie makes it seem like he straight up betrays him. And then Lawrence Fishburne's character finds John at the end. He's like, are you pissed off? He's like, I'm pissed off. Movie fucking ends. So for some reason I thought they were stopping at 3. Clearly they're doing 4. So clearly they're not, which is fine because they're great. But did Winston really betray him?
No, I think that he knew that he had all that bulletproof jacket on, and that was the only way he was going to...
But hang on. So this is a conversation I had with my friends who watched the movie. That bulletproof lining shit, if it's the same shit he had in 2, all that does is stop the bullet. You still feel the impact.
Oh yeah, like you felt the impact of falling off the building.
How is his back not broken?
This is...
One one should be dead.
I think we got to start back a little bit before that. And that's when the amazing thing, he goes all the way to Morocco, where he meets Halle Berry and everything. And then they decide to meet the guy who's the head guy at the table, the guy who runs the whole world of assassins. You just march out to the middle of the desert till the end of the desert, and then you march out into the desert until you're almost dead, and then maybe he'll find you or not. That's how he's supposed to find the guy. Yeah. And then where does he live? He lives out in the middle of nowhere in a tent, okay, in the desert. Now,
I have to assume this guy's rich. Why would he live out in the desert?
I don't know. Anyways, that's just the way it is. I mean, there's all kinds of rich people that live in the Middle East that live out kind of in weird places that we wouldn't live in our little civilized society. But that being said, that's where he is. It's kind of a magical fantasy kingdom anyway. So that's just, we're going to have to accept that just like anything else. But when he says, the only way you're going to live is if you go back and kill Winston, and he goes, oh yeah, I'll do that. I thought, what a fucking dick.
I never for a second thought John was going to kill him though.
Well, here's the other thing.
But it kind of made it seem like he might have, though.
Through the whole movie, everybody's paying all these consequences for helping him out throughout the whole thing. And it's kind of like, he doesn't ever go, you know what? I am really creating some problems for other people. Anyways, so, yes, cut off his finger. And amazing thing is, another thing, you cut off your finger, they brand it to cauterize it, and you go back and you fight like crazy. This hand that just you cut off your finger isn't giving you any trouble. You're just going like crazy.
And let's also point out that that can still kill you. That can get infected real quick. The burn.
Right.
I didn't see him popping antibiotics. Whatever. So I think your point of this whole thing is him falling off the building and all the injuries. You kind of gotta let it go.
Well,
because it's like,
this is the case. So all that it looked like he was going to turn on him and be a traitor to him.
To Winston.
Yeah, he comes back. They seem to be like, no, we're not gonna.
I don't think
they fight the battle. Here's what I think. I think that Winston saw. The only way that I'm getting out of this either alive or within, is if I agreed to this thing. But I think that he was like a kind of a calculated bet on his part is
John's gonna survive.
He's gonna survive.
Okay.
But I gotta do this.
But it's not like you told John ahead of time.
Right.
And you gotta assume if he's surviving, I'm dead, because he's coming for all of it. Because the table chick seemed really concerned that John wasn't dead.
I guarantee that John sees this as a big betrayal. And he's in a lot of trouble. Both him and that chick who comes around, the arbiter or whatever she's called. They better sleep with one eye open.
She looks panicked.
Yes. And I also think that he didn't want to kill him. I think that he thought there's a chance that he's going to survive this. That's why he wasn't surprised when she said the body wasn't there.
But then what's his plan? Because now John's going to come kill you. It's not like you're going to be able to talk your way out of that and be like, bro, I figured you'd live. Because if your plan is to take out the table anyway, then you do that with John.
Well, that's the other part of the calculated risk was he'll either understand what I might have been thinking, or he's not have to face the consequences.
Because earlier in the movie he says it's better to die at the hand of a friend, referring to John possibly killing him. So I think he maybe was actually going to kill him, because he thinks that's better.
He was already going to let him kill him before when he first came in.
Right, but that's why I think Winston's prepared to kill John.
Yeah.
So I don't know what's fine. I hope there's like an end game here. Like I think the next movie is going to be John getting all his allies together to go against the table in like a full-fledged war, which would be fucking cool to watch. But nonetheless, definitely left it with questions. Left it open with questions and like wanting to know what the fuck happened, and it really left on a cliffhanger that I was not expecting. For some reason, I thought the movie was either going to end with John dying or it was going to like wrap it up nicely. I don't know why I thought it was just going to be a trilogy. That was stupid of me. They make money. But I like how it ended because it was literally like, I want more. Give me the next movie like now.
It felt like it's going to take you to the next level.
And it didn't
Whatever
drop,
the next level is.
but I don't know what the next level is because this didn't drop in quality to me from 2. It's just as good. And the action is insane. Like, at a certain point, it's going to get too over the top and be done. Like, because like how you were saying the March Out to the Desert thing, like there was a couple story elements within the world that are like, well, that's dumb, but I'm going to let it go.
Right.
And the movie's so good, you overlook that now. Right. You're just like, that's just kind of dumb. At a certain point, it's not going to be that good anymore. And I don't want the series to fall off a cliff. I prefer it just ends good. But
well, for me, in this third film, I kind of had to go, this is a complete fantasy world.
Right.
So I've got to look at this just like I watch a superhero movie. It's magic or superhero.
But you didn't have to do that before.
Right.
So I'm afraid it's gonna be Fast and Furious where it just gets so ridiculous. You're like, what the fuck ever. You know what I mean? I don't want that with these movies. Like part of the appeal of the original was it was such a small, contained, grounded story where like I could see that happening in the real world. Now you can't.
And I agree with that. A couple other things. Isn't it amazing that the master king of the ninjas just serves sushi out of the street side sushi bar? It's like he's like the sushi guy, and what do you know? He does nothing better with his time but do that when he's not the king of the ninjas.
And also like the hobos that Lawrence Fishburne has running around, like the guy who's like, hey John, TikTok. It's like, that's your job, sitting in the fucking garbage and the rain-ish and pretending to be a hobo? Like, that's a shitty job. Like, I don't want to do that at all.
Killing people.
I don't want to, but that's...
I agree.
I don't like that at all. I don't want any part of that.
Inclement weather, he gets a bonus for that.
It's fucking bad.
The other thing that I think is hysterical and makes me laugh through the whole movie is how everybody is in frickin' John Wick's fan club. Everybody is the biggest fan. Even the guys he's fighting were trying to kill each other. They're like, every time there's a break, hey, Mr. Wick, I just want to tell you, just such a great, it's so honored to meet you.
I thought that was
so awesome. You know, if I had a picture, I'd let you sign it. Hey, can we do a selfie? It's kind of like that. I
thought that was hilarious.
Yeah, it is hilarious. I think it cracks me up. It's funny.
It was like a Deadpool moment.
It's like they're all... I mean, they would be amazed if they were actually the guy who killed him. That would be the thing they could put their whole career on. But just to be with him, it's like, it's just an honor. It's an honor to fight you. It's so great. Even the king of the ninjas, when he finally gets killed, and he's sitting there, and he's got a
like,
katana through his midsection, and he's sitting there, he's going, John, that was a pretty good fight.
Well, I loved it when he was fighting the 2 mini boss ninjas, and like you said, they're like, oh, this is such an honor. Yeah. But I like how they acknowledge, like, oh, he's slow, but he's getting slow. But going back to the like being in awe of John, so think of it. Keanu Reeves is 53. He's probably playing a character at least in his 40s, right?
Right,
and most of the time he's unarmed while they're coming out with knives and shit, and he's still beating them. Imagine this character in his prime, how fucking unstoppable he must have been. So I can understand the reputation. Like, I could see it.
Here's the biggest thing I worry about the next movie. I can see, you can't disguise that he has some trouble running.
Yeah.
He kind of runs like I feel like I run with a little gimp in my step.
He's no fucking Tom Cruise, that's for sure.
I mean, you can't disguise that. So you're running, he's going, oh yeah, that looks painful.
I think that's why he's always wounded, because it makes the running look realistic. Yeah. I was gonna say, that's why I thought they were gonna stop. He can't keep making these forever. He's not Tom Cruise. I love Tom Cruise. He's not Tom Cruise. Yeah. But anyway, so this movie though was great. Like, I loved it. It was everything I wanted it to be. I have concerns moving forward, but this though, if you're a fan of it, I don't see how anybody could not like it. It was fucking everything John Wick cranked up a couple notches.
It has everything that was promised. Lots of killing and action and fighting and cool, interesting stuff. The other things about the fighting that I think are cool and weird to me are as they're going through, they have a really good round count where they're counting the rounds. Seems almost perfect to the round. The other thing is, how does every single person that you kill and you pull out the magazine fit? It's the same caliber and the same model as the gun you have. Every single one fits. Every single one fits.
Maybe there's universal assassin-approved firearms.
For me, it's funny that you pay attention to, oh, this is realistic, we're counting every round, but why would every single person have a magazine that fits in your gun?
Yeah. I think it's assassin-approved, official assassin-approved firearms.
It is fun and action-filled, and you're not going to get bored watching it because there's stuff happening all the time.
It's great. We really loved it. Little nitpicks, concerned about the future going forward.
Love the attack dogs.
The attack dogs are great. Yeah. As a whole, the movie's fucking phenomenal. It's everything I wanted.
Agree.
So, anything we need to plug? Do we want to plug the contest again real quick?
Yeah, let's plug the contest. So, I mean, we've tweaked our contest a little bit. We want to make sure that first, everybody's getting a chance to get the giveaway. So, we're putting out on the podcast, and we're going to start putting out now that we want everybody to, we want them to comment in the podcast comment section their name so we know who they are. And then second, we want people to both share the contest information and the podcast. So we want people to get the contest information so they can participate and hopefully get some giveaways and also build our subscribership.
Yeah, because that's the thing. So the whole point is we need our subscribers on YouTube to go up. Yeah. We're at 94 subscribers currently. It's fucking amateur hour. We want to bump that up. Mm-hmm. So the way we're going to be doing it now, as we said at the last episode of the podcast, is every 100 interval, 100, 200, 300, we're going to give away some mini prizes. We're going to pick somebody's name at random based on those who are commenting, who are essentially entering themselves to win. And you're going to win a bunch of different things, including Funko Pops, graphic novels specifically recommended by us. This talented, sexy artist here will give you an original drawing. When we get to the big one at 500, we're going to do a bigger giveaway, which will include some of our awesome logo t-shirts and a bunch of cool shit. We're just giving away shit here because we want to say thank you to those of you who are following us and subscribing, and we want you to spread the word, and we want to get our YouTube numbers up.
Yeah, and the sooner you get in and start subscribing, the more chances you're going to have for all the giveaways. Yeah, if you win, once you're in the pool, you're going to be in the pool of people for every giveaway. Yeah,
even if you win one, you still can try to win again, and while the numbers are smaller, better chance to win. So free shit. What's better than free shit? Nothing. Nothing's better than free shit except for getting our subscriptions up. So fucking do the giveaway.
Yeah,
all right. As always, you enjoyed this video. Thank you for watching this video of the world's greatest news and reviews. Please be sure to like and subscribe.
Peace.